In this podcast episode, Shawn Ryan interviews Andy Lowry, CEO of Eperis, a cutting-edge American defense technology company specializing in counter-drone solutions through high-power microwave-directed energy weapons. They discuss Andy's career path from Navy nuclear engineering to leading advanced defense tech companies, the development and capabilities of Eperis's flagship product Leonitis, debunk common myths about high-power microwave systems, challenges with deploying such technology, and the changing landscape of modern warfare, including recent drone threats like those witnessed at Barksdale Air Force Base. Andy Lowry started his military career enlisted in the Navy, inspired originally by a Marine Corps recruiting video, but ended up joining the Navy nuclear program. He excelled in mathematics and physics, which led him into nuclear power and eventually a commissioned officer role. Andy then pursued electrical engineering at the University of Illinois, focusing on RF and microwaves, although his Navy nuclear duties did not fully utilize that knowledge. After active duty, he transitioned to commercial RF and microwave component companies, including Macom and Raytheon, where he became deeply involved in electronic warfare programs like the Next Generation Jammer for the EA-18 Growler. This work centered on advancing technologies involving gallium nitride semiconductors, which are crucial for high-power, high-efficiency microwave systems and electromagnetic warfare. Ultimately, Andy joined Eperis as Chief Product Officer before becoming CEO, bringing extensive leadership and engineering expertise to its counter-electronics mission. In addition to his defense career, Andy is studying integral noetic sciences, which bridges technology, ethics, consciousness, and spirituality. He describes this as an emerging field increasing in relevance as AI and technology advance, growing his interest in self-education to explore how technology impacts softer human and ethical domains. This multidisciplinary learning informs his perspective as both a technologist and philosopher, blending rigorous engineering with thoughtful inquiry about technology's broader implications. Eperis was founded in 2018, just before the COVID-19 pandemic, initially aiming to develop high-powered RF transmitters that could be used for various applications, including radar and counter-electronics on things like boat engines and drones. The founders, including Joe Lansdale and Grant Gund, foresaw the rapid proliferation of drones and the emerging drone threat years in advance, anticipating the need for a novel approach to counter them. Though Eperis did not set out specifically to build a directed energy weapon, their technology organically evolved into a scalable counter-drone product line known as Leonitis. The early Leonitis prototypes were large, experimental arrays developed during COVID restrictions. Over time, through iterative redesign, they progressed to Leonitis Generation 2 systems combining compact power, sophisticated phased array antennas, and advanced software to reliably neutralize drone threats. Andy highlights a paradigm shift in defense challenges. Whereas traditional defense systems have been built to counter large, powerful targets, lions, the current threat environment is dominated by small, swarm-capable drones, mice. Existing kinetic and missile defense systems are effective but costly and cumbersome, often unsuited for rapidly neutralizing numerous low-cost drones. They represent an asymmetry where expensive missiles are used to shoot small drones that cost hundreds or thousands of dollars. Eperis's Leonitis provides a more efficient and scalable solution tailored for this mice problem: fast, precise, and cost-effective countermeasures that can defeat swarms and lone drones alike with directed electromagnetic interference rather than physical ammunition. The conversation reflects on why newer companies like Eperis, Shield AI, and others are outperforming traditional defense primes in innovation and speed. Primes are structured as service contractors with bureaucratic acquisition models, highly risk-averse and focused on well-defined government contracts. In contrast, startups take more financial risks, rapidly develop and iterate new technologies, and integrate design-led thinking, prioritizing human factors. While primes excel at scaling and global logistics support, startups drive the technological breakthroughs necessary for next-generation layered defense against rapidly evolving threats such as drone swarms, electronic warfare, and directed energy applications. Leonitis functions as a multi-element phased array antenna system emitting high-power, narrowly controlled microwave energy, to create a protective electromagnetic bubble around critical assets. When a drone enters this field, its electronics malfunction, sensors get jammed, and ultimately the drone becomes inoperable and falls. The system's beam is electronically steered with microsecond precision across a 6 degrees by 6 degree field of view, making it look like a broad spotlight scanning the sky, but effectively engaging multiple targets nearly simultaneously. Leonitis includes integrated radar, electro-optical, and infrared sensors to detect, track, and engage drones within an engagement range typically up to around 1.5 kilometers, consistent with close-in defensive weapon ranges on ships. The system is networkable and can interoperate with command and control platforms such as Anduril's Lattice software for coordinated defense. Andy addresses widespread myths and concerns about high-power microwave (HPM) threats, such as Havana syndrome. He clarifies that Eperis' system operates at frequencies and power levels designed to disable electronics, not harm humans, animals, or plants. The emitted microwaves pass harmlessly through biological tissue without causing heating or physiological effects. The energy is only emitted briefly and narrowly focused when threats are present, ensuring compliance with safety standards. Unlike wideband vacuum tube-based systems from prior generations, Eperis uses advanced gallium nitride solid-state components, enabling smart, tunable narrowband emissions optimized against drone susceptibilities through AI-driven frequency hopping and adaptive waveforms. This approach offers a scalable, effective, and safe solution that has been tested and operationally deployed. Leonitis systems have been deployed in limited but strategic exercises, including notable deployments in the Philippines. Regulatory and political hurdles have historically limited deployment in active conflict zones like Ukraine, due largely to the ITAR restrictions on Category 18 directed energy weapons. However, the growing drone threat in conflict theaters and domestic security prompted the current U.S. administration to accelerate approvals, facilitating broader deployment for protecting allies and U.S. forces overseas. Systems are actively being deployed in the Middle East to counter drone attacks on critical assets. The Army has requested mobile versions of Leonitis mounted on autonomous ground vehicles to maneuver with expeditionary forces and protect forward operating bases, with one system currently produced about once per week and plans to scale up production. A recent drone swarm incident at Barksdale Air Force Base, a strategic site housing nuclear assets and bombers, drew attention when multiple waves of 12 drones each penetrated defenses undetected and unimpaired by existing jamming systems. Andy notes that Leonitis' capabilities would be ideally suited to such a scenario, able to instantly neutralize drone swarms with minimal collateral risk and support forensic analysis of downed drones to trace origin points. This incident underscores the urgent need for fielding counter-drone directed energy systems embedded into layered defense networks protecting high-value assets, and highlights the current gap and hesitation within the defense community to rapidly deploy these cutting-edge systems. Drone warfare is evolving rapidly worldwide, characterized by the proliferation of inexpensive, commercially available UAVs used for swarming attacks, reconnaissance, and asymmetric tactics. Conflicts like Ukraine and the Middle East demonstrate how swarms of relatively low-cost drones can overwhelm conventional defenses, causing outsized damage at low cost. This death by 1,000 cuts phenomenon demands layered, agile defenses integrating kinetic interceptors, electronic warfare, and directed energy. Eperis' Leonitis is positioned as a key component to close gaps, preventing leaker drones that penetrate missile defenses from reaching critical targets. The overall drone threat landscape establishes urgent requirements for new tech adoption before drones become entrenched as a dominant vector for proxy, hybrid, and state actors. While Leonitis platforms carry significant upfront system costs ranging up to tens of millions USD per unit, depending on configuration, their per-use cost to neutralize drones is pennies, as the ammunition is energy rather than missiles or bullets. This drastic disparity in cost per shot offers a sustainable alternative to missile salvos, especially given growing adversary drone production capabilities. China alone reportedly manufactures around 30 million drones annually, potentially supplying proxy forces like Iran or Russia-backed militias. Moreover, An electromagnetic countermeasure offers infinite magazine depth compared to finite missile stockpiles and logistical challenges of kinetic interceptors. The system's ability to be powered autonomously, moved on the battlefield, and networked makes it adaptable to diverse mission profiles from vehicle-level defense to large base or city-scale protection. Eperis is actively developing smaller, more compact versions of Leonitis for varied use cases, including vehicle-mounted and medium-class systems deployable with expeditionary units. Although backpack-sized personal soldier protection systems remain a future goal due to size and power constraints, current prototypes approximate toolbox-sized versions that could serve rapid mobile defense for small teams and special operations. Longer-term, large-scale deployments envision networked arrays and multimodal systems providing layered omnidirectional coverage to critical infrastructure, embassies, ports, and city centers. As technology advances, these systems could become as ubiquitous and reliable as radar, fundamentally shifting air defense architecture and altering drone warfare dynamics globally. Leonitis offers flexibility across manual, semi-autonomous, and fully autonomous operational modes. Operators receive a comprehensive situational awareness display combining 360-degree radar, electro-optical, infrared, and connected network feeds. AI-powered command and control can recommend or autonomously execute engagements, allowing rapid response in mass swarm attacks where human reaction time is insufficient. The system's beam steering and frequency modulation are driven by sophisticated software-defined controls and machine learning algorithms. Integration with platforms like Anduril's Lattice enhances interoperability and layered defense management, supporting fully networked battlefield environments. Due to its safety profile and non-kinetic nature, Leonitis is well-suited for domestic counter-drone defense scenarios where kinetic or laser weapons pose unacceptable risk to civilians or infrastructure. The system can operate in urban environments without interfering with nearby airports or communications, overcoming limitations of existing kinetic or laser solutions. This broadens its applicability for protecting public venues such as stadiums, government buildings, and critical infrastructure. The ability to produce electromagnetic pulses at precise times and locations without physical destruction offers a new class of non-lethal threat mitigation in homeland security and law enforcement applications. Despite demonstrated capabilities and urgent operational need, Eperis and similar companies face institutional resistance within military procurement channels. Extensive testing protocols, risk aversion, and entrenched acquisition systems delay fast fielding of innovative systems. There exists a frozen middle within organizations reluctant to depart from legacy methods without explicit directives. Andy recounts historical parallels with other military transformative efforts and emphasizes the cultural shift underway, driven by ongoing conflicts and recent drone incidents demanding rapid adoption. This ongoing bureaucratic inertia presents a significant but surmountable barrier to widespread deployment. The conversation situates counter-drone technology in the context of escalating global drone proliferation driven by geopolitics, especially acknowledging China's massive drone industrial base and its indirect role in arming proxy forces like Iran. The asymmetric threat drones pose to traditional military and civilian targets underscores the need for disruptive countermeasures. Eperis positions Leonitis as part of a broader ecosystem involving electronic warfare, surveillance, and allied neoprime defense companies, contributing to a modern layered air defense approach essential to maintaining strategic advantage in increasingly contested domains.